that's going around talking about the devil has the power to resurrect people from the dead. And it centers around when King Shaul, who was the first man king of ancient Israel, he went to a witch to ask the witch to resurrect somebody from the dead. And now people have taken that and said, see, you know, the devil has the power to resurrect. No, he doesn't.
No, he does
not have the power to resurrect people from the dead. So let's start out in the New Testament in 2 Corinthians. 2 Corinthians, which is in the New Testament. So that's a false doctrine that's circulating. And the title of the lesson is, Whom shall I bring up unto thee? And he said, bring me up Shemuel or Samuel. So this is King Shaul talking to this witch. And she said, whom shall I bring up unto thee? In other words, insinuating she can raise people from the dead. And then Shaul said, bring me up the Nabi or the prophet Shemuel. All right. We're in 2 Corinthians. We're going to go to the 11th chapter.
Praise God.
So this false doctrine says that Hasatan and his cohorts, when they feel like it, they can raise people from the dead. That's a lie. 2 Corinthians 11. And let's start at verse 13. 2 Corinthians 11 and verse 13 reads,
For such are false apostles, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into the apostle of Messiah.
All right, so now this is talking about the devil's cohorts.
Okay, right.
When the devil rebelled in Shemayim, he took a third of Yahweh's Malachim with him, who are now demons.
Yeah.
All right, it says, for such are false apostles, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into the apostles of Mashiach, acting like they can do the things that Mashiach and Yahweh can do, but they cannot. They're false. Verse 14.
And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light.
And they said it's no marvel because their leader is a lion acting like he's an angel of light. It says it's no wonder, no marvel. Don't be puzzling about it. For Hasatan, the enemy himself, is transformed into a Malach of Or. He makes himself like he's this person that is not about wickedness and evil, but he is. All right, we're in 2 Corinthians, and we're going to read verse 15, but let me just say this. There's no scriptures to support Satan resurrecting or raising the dead.
That's right. Y'all right.
This English word in this verse, where it says Hasatan is transformed into an angel of light, that transformed is a Greek word found at Strong's number 3345. It means to transfigure or disguise. He puts on this pretense, pretending like he's doing that. And he transforms and makes himself, like they have these robots, they're one thing, but you can transform into another thing. That's what the wicked one does. Doesn't mean he's an angel of light. Doesn't mean he's actually doing what, like you have these magicians. I think there's one magician, I forget what his name is. It's like he made New York disappear or whatever. All right? But he didn't make it disappear. All right? All right. Let's read verse 15. 2 Corinthians 11 and verse 15 reads,
Therefore it is no great thing if his ministers also be transformed as the ministers of righteousness, whose end shall be according to their works.
So it said, it's no wonder now their leader, it says, he transforms himself, he pretends to be an angel of light. Said, therefore it's no great thing if his ministers also be transformed as the ministers of Sadaqah. They pretend like they're part of Yahweh's people. Whose end shall be according to their works. Well, they're working wickedness, so their end is going to be the lake of fire. Let's go in the New Testament to Ephesians. So the devil has ministers who run on errands, and they perform menial duties as his servants. He has ministers. Ephesians in the New Testament, the 6th chapter.
Praise the mighty Yah.
Yahweh lets us know. Here he has different ministers who do different things.
Yes, he
Ephesians
does.
6 chapter. We're going to read one verse, verse 12. Ephesians 6. And let's read verse 12, please.
For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against power, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places.
So we're looking at the devil's ministers right here. He sends them on errands and to perform duties as his servant. It says, for we struggle or wrestle not against flesh and dam, but against, this is talking about Hasatan,
That's
principalities. They have different rules and different roles and different duties to perform against Mashal or powers. So they have different positions against the rulers of the darkness of this world. Well, Yahweh's going to show us that Hasatan is the G-O-D or the Elohim of this world.
Right.
And where did he get it from? He got it from the first man, Adam.
Okay.
All right. So, but he's also ruling darkness. That's his dominion. Against spiritual Ra or wickedness in high places. The high places started at was in Shemayim, around Yahweh's throne. All right. Let's go to the Old Testament, to Genesis. So the devil and his demons never had the ability to raise the dead.
No, they did not.
They never had it. They don't have it now. They never will have it. And now we see, in fact, in Genesis, that the devil was stripped of his power in the Garden of Eden.
Right. Back in the
He
beginning.
not only got thrown out of Shemayim for rebelling against Yahweh, but he got stripped of his power. He used to have the ability to show himself to humans at will.
Okay.
Yahweh stripped him
Praise
of that
the mighty Yah.
in the Garden of Eden. All right, we're in Genesis. We want to go to the 3rd chapter. Genesis, the 3rd chapter. And let's read verse 14.
Hallelujah.
Genesis 3 and verse 14 reads,
And Yahweh Elohim said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art course above all cattle, and above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and dust shalt thou eat all day of thy life.
all right, and here is Yahshua talking to, Yahshua's title, one of his titles is Yahweh Elohim.
Right.
He's talking to Hasatan. And Yahweh Elohim Amar unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, told the woman to lie, and then the woman went for it and then gave to her husband, and he went for it.
Right.
Thou art cursed above all cattle and above every beast of the field. So this is the curse he put on Hasatan. Upon your belly shall you go, and dust shall you eat all hayam of thy cat. So this English phrase, upon your belly, is one Hebrew word, gakon. That's G-A-C-H-O-W-N. It's found at Strong's number 1512. And it means crawling, low, the external abdomen. It's only used twice in the Bible, in Genesis, the 3rd chapter, and in Leviticus, the 11th chapter. So let's go. This is the Old Testament, Leviticus, the 11th chapter. So he's talking about upon your belly, and he said, and dust shall you eat. So we're in the Old Testament. Let's go to Leviticus, which is in the Old Testament. Leviticus, the 11th chapter.
Praise the mighty Yah. Hallelujah. For Revelation 9,
that phrase, dust shall you eat, he said, upon your belly, and then dust shall you eat, is the Hebrew word afar, and the Hebrew word akal. Afar is A-P-H-A-R, found at Strong's number 6083, and akal is A-K-A-L, found at Strong's number 398. Means rubbish, eaten up literally or figuratively. In other words, he's crawling on his belly and he's eating rubbish. He can't get back up. This is Yahweh stripping him of his power. All right, let's look at Leviticus 11 and verse 43 so we can look at this upon your belly.
Hallelujah.
Leviticus 11th chapter, and one verse, verse 42. And let's read it, please.
Whatever dieth upon the belly, and whatever dieth upon all four, or whatever hath more feet, among all creeping things that creep upon the earth, then ye shall not eat, for they are an abomination.
So here Yahweh is talking about the dietary laws and letting us know what not to eat. So if somebody offered you some rattlesnake, he said, don't eat that.
Amen.
He said, whatsoever goeth upon the belly slides along. This is him stripping Satan of his power.
Right.
And whatsoever goeth upon all four, whatsoever had more feet among all creeping things that creep upon hot air, them you shall not eat, for they are an abomination. And now let's go back in the Old Testament to Genesis, the 2nd chapter. So he's crawling upon his belly, he's been stripped, and he's as dust, rubbish, or powder, burnt up, consumed, being devoured up. So as the Ruach said, previously Satan was able to show himself to humans. Now, humans must open themselves up to Satan.
Yes.
And the way they do that is through what's called the occult.
Okay.
Like seeking after darkness, Ouija boards, seances, and disobeying Yahweh.
That's the main one.
In order for him to be able to show himself to them. Because he was stripped of this power, being able to manifest himself to humanity at will. And while we're looking at this, years ago, everybody used to be talking about what's your sign. And you know all about the signs of the zodiac.
Okay.
If you're doing it and you haven't stopped, you need to stop looking in the newspaper to read what your horoscope is.
Right.
That's horoscope. That's really Hasatan's way of coming into your life.
Okay, eat some horror.
And don't call the psychic line
Right.
trying to find out what's going to happen with you or this, that, and the other, because something bad will happen. He can tell you bad things
You're opening the
that
door.
will happen to you, but that's opening the door for the devil to be able to manifest himself
Tell it like it is,
or the
Ron.
demons. All right? We're in Genesis, the 2nd chapter.
Praise the mighty Yah.
Let's read verse 9. So now we're going to look at
Hallelujah.
how the devil got stripped of his power. All right? Genesis 2, let's read verse 9, please.
And out of the ground made Yahweh Elohim to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight and good for food, the tree of life also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil.
So now here is Yahweh letting us know, out of the ground, made Yahweh Elohim to grow every tree that's pleasant to the sight and told for food. The tree of Kai. So Adam and Kawak could have eaten off the tree of Kai. But after they ate off the wrong tree, then Yahweh blocked them from eating off the tree of Kai.
Right.
In the midst of the garden, and the tree of Yada of Tob and Ra. So Adam was the Elohim of the earth.
Okay.
He was the mighty one of the earth before he sinned.
Yes.
But he did not have knowledge of evil.
Okay. Right.
All right? He only knew good.
That's all we need to know.
All right? Let's go to Genesis, the 3rd chapter.
Praise the mighty Yah.
You know, he was the Elohim or G-O-D of the earth. He did not have the knowledge of evil.
No, he
Genesis,
did
the 3rd
not.
chapter. Yahweh intended to show that to him later. He had it in his plan, but man shot the plan.
Jumped ahead.
Genesis 3, let's read one verse, verse 5. Genesis
Praise
3 and verse 5 reads,
For Elohim thou know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as mighty ones, knowing good and evil.
All right, says, for Elohim, or mighty one, doth know the mighty one, doth know that in Hayam you eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as really demons. This is what this is talking about.
Okay.
So the devil was making a statement of truth they would be like demons. They would know good and
Okay.
evil the way the devil knows it.
Right.
Yahweh
All right,
never
Ron.
intended them to know it that way.
Okay.
But they had a choice to go that way. And they took that choice. You shall be as demons, really, false Elohims, knowing Tob and Ra.
Yeah.
So man learned good and evil from the devil through disobedience.
Right,
If
right.
he had learned it the right way and taken of the tree of Kai or life first, then Yahweh would have shown it to him in the right way.
Okay.
All right? We're in Genesis. We want to skip down to verse 22. So the devil and his demons know good and evil differently than Yahweh knows.
Yeah.
They got the knowledge from rebelling against him.
Yeah, that's it.
Any knowledge we get from a rebelling against Yahweh is going to be different from the way Yahweh would have given us
Yes,
the
it
knowledge.
is. Yes, it
That's
is.
the worst way to get it.
Yes, it
By
is.
rebelling against
That's
him.
worse.
All right, let's skip down to verse 22, chapter 3, and let's read verse 22, please.
And Yahweh Elohim said, Behold, the man is because as one of us to know good and evil. And now, lest he put forth his hand and take also of the tree of life and eat and live forever.
All right, so he had to block him. He already
Right.
had one devil out here.
Yeah.
And already had a third of the demons, you know,
Right.
which were formerly Malachims. It says, and Yahweh Elohim Amar, behold, Ha-Adam is become as Akkad of us. To Yada, Tob, and Ra, but he didn't know it like Yahweh and Yahshua knew it.
Okay.
Why? Because he got it from Hasatan.
Yep.
So it was twisted and crooked. And now, lest he put forth his hand and take also of the tree of Kai and eat and Kaya forever. He said, we got to block this.
Right.
He made the wrong choice.
Yeah, he
took
did.
of the tree of life first. Then he would have understood, like Yahweh and Yahshua, he wouldn't have eaten of that
Not to
tree.
go there.
Yahweh would have let him know.
Yep.
All right, so he said, now I got to block him. I already got one devil
I
out
know,
there.
right?
I don't need another one.
I know.
Verse 23.
Therefore Yahweh Elohim sent him forth from the Garden of Eden to fill the ground from whence he was taken.
Huh.
So Yahweh put him out of the garden,
Yeah.
away from the tree of life, so he couldn't eat of that. Therefore Yahweh Elohim sent him forth from the Garden of Eden to till the ground from whence he was taken. Now he gonna work and work hard for a living.
Right.
Verse 24.
So he drove out the man, and he placed at the east of the Garden of Eden cherubims and a flaming sword which turned every way to keep the way of the tree of life.
So Yahweh not playing. If the man had tried to take from the tree, he's gonna get killed right there.
Right.
So he drove out Ha-Adam, and he placed, and the woman too now, they're
Right,
both
right.
together.
Right.
And he placed at the east of the Garden of Eden cherubims, which are warrior angels, and a flaming sword which turned every way to Shema, the way of the tree of Kai. Now make sure they didn't touch it.
Right.
And that flaming sword turned every way, so whichever way they would try to go get it, it would
Cut
get
him
it.
up.
So Adam came to know evil from rebellion,
Okay.
and death is under evil.
Yes, it is. Y'all right. So
First man in cooperation with the devil brought death into the human race.
Yes, it did.
Because death is under evil.
Yes, it is.
All right? We're in Genesis, the 2nd chapter, and I want to go to verse 16. Genesis 2.
Praise the mighty Yah.
Genesis 2, and I'm going to start reading at verse 16, please.
And Yahweh Elohim commanded the man, saying, Of every tree of the garden thou mayest freely eat.
So here's Yahweh telling him, hey, the tree of Kai is in the midst of the garden.
Okay.
You can freely eat of that. He said of every tree, but then now the next verse he qualifies it.
Okay.
And he tells him, warning, don't eat of this one.
Only
So he
one.
could have ate from the tree of life.
Yes, he could.
Verse 17.
But of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, thou shalt not eat of it, for in the day that thou eatest thereof, thou shalt surely die.
Even though Adam, he had power over death, and that's why the devil has power over it now, because he got it from Adam. I don't really believe Adam understood what death was. But he should have just trusted Yahweh. This is something you don't want.
Right.
If he had eaten from the tree of life first, he would have had the power of life and learned good and evil from Yahweh instead of Satan.
Right.
Let's go to the New Testament. But he didn't go that way. Going to the New Testament to 2 Corinthians.
Praise the mighty
He said
God.
of the tree of Hayada of Tob and Ra, you shall not eat of it, for in Hayam that you eat thereof, you shall surely move.
Thus says Yahweh.
No doubt about it, you're going to die.
Yep.
And like I said, I don't think Adam fully comprehended what Yahweh was saying, but he found out. he knew that he should trust Yahweh.
Yeah.
And there are things that we don't have to experience. We can just take his word for it. We don't have to go and learn.
They have been there, done it.
All right, 2 Corinthians. I want to go to the 4th chapter.
Praise the mighty God.
And I want to start at verse 3. 2 Corinthians
Hallelujah.
4 and verse 3 reads,
But if our good news be hid, it is hid to them that are lost.
That's
all right,
right.
so he's talking about the doctrine. But if our doctrine of good news be hid, it's hid to them that are lost.
That's right.
How did they get lost? Verse 4.
In whom the mighty one of this world have blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious good news of Messiah, who is the image of Elohim, should shine unto them.
Alright, so now he's talking about it, the Elohim of this world.
Right.
The first man used to be the Elohim
Yes,
of
he
this
did.
world.
Gave it up.
He gave it up, and Hasatan got the position.
Yep.
In whom the Elohim of this world, the mighty one of this world, the demon of this world, talking about Hasatan, he's blinded Hapeh
Yes, he has.
of those which believe not.
Yep.
We used to be blind
That's right.
before Yahweh shined that light in
Hallelujah.
darkness and woke us up.
Hallelujah.
He said, lest or of Hakabod doctrine of Mashiach, who is the image of Elohim, should shine unto them.
Yes.
So he keeps a mask on.
Yes,
he
he
keeps
does.
them distracted and looking at different things to stop them from looking at Yahweh.
Yes. Y'all right,
New Testament, let's go to Romans.
Praise the mighty Yah.
When Adam rebelled, Satan obtained his position.
Yes, he did.
And he became the G-O-D, or the Elohim of the earth.
Yes, he is.
That was Adam's position.
Right.
And he got power over physical death.
Okay.
And the man introduced it into the human race. All right? The man and woman. Romans, the 5th chapter.
Praise Yahweh.
Okay, Romans, the 5th chapter, and we want to read one verse, verse 12. Romans 5.
Hallelujah.
And let's read verse 12, please.
Wherefore, as by one man sin entered unto the world, and death by sin, and so death passed upon all men, for that all have sinned.
Here it lets us know Adam had the power of death.
Yeah, okay.
It said, wherefore, as by Akkad Adam Hata entered into the world, he could have kept it out
Okay.
by eating from the tree of life. And Maveth by Hata, and so Maveth passed upon all Adam. That's why we die.
Yep.
For that all have Hata. We're born with the sin nature.
Yes, we are.
We're born not wanting to listen to Yahweh, not wanting to follow Yahweh,
Right.
not knowing about Yahweh.
That's right. Yeah, Rod.
So the devil had already brought spiritual death into existence. Why? By rebelling against
That's
Yahweh. And Yahweh said, I got the lake of fire prepared for him. So he was already the author of spiritual death.
Okay.
Now he became the author of physical death.
Yes.
Because Adam gave it over to him. In the New Testament, let's go to Matthew's the 25th chapter.
Praise the mighty Yah.
So he had already brought spiritual death into existence,
Uh-huh.
which Yahweh calls the second death, Matthew's 25. And he also calls it the lake of fire.
Okay.
So Satan brought that into existence. And Yahweh prepared it for him. He didn't prepare for human beings.
No, he did not.
So
But
we're looking at this so we can see what power Hasatan has and what power he has not.
none.
He
but-
got the power of death. He don't have the power of life.
No, he does not. None but that.
Matthew's 25, we're going to read one verse, verse 41.
Praise
Matthew's
the mighty
25. And let's read verse 41, please.
Then shall he say also unto them on the left hand, Depart from me, ye cursed, unto everlasting fire, prepared for the devil and his angels.
So this lets us know it was the devil, the enemy, that brought the lake of fire into existence. It says, which is the second death. It says, then shall he amar, this is Yahshua talking, unto
Right,
them
right.
on his samu hand, depart from me, ye cursed. We saw him curse Hasatan in Genesis, in the
Right,
garden,
right.
said, you're cursed. Into everlasting fire. That's talking about the lake of fire. What was it prepared for? Prepared for the devil and his malakim. It wasn't prepared for humans. There's going to be humans that are going there, but it
Oh,
wasn't
yeah.
prepared for them.
Right.
The devil is the one that brought this spiritual death into existence. And Yahweh prepared the lake of fire for him. All right, let's go to the Old Testament, to Job. So the devil now has power over physical death, and he had already brought spiritual death into existence.
Okay.
That's why Yahweh lets us know when we come to him and Yahshua, we escape from two deaths.
Yes, we do. Praise be to Abba Yahweh. Hallelujah, Abba Yahweh. Told you.
Going to Job, which is in front of Psalms. It's in the Old Testament. Job, the first chapter. The devil has power over physical death, and he brought spiritual death into
Okay.
existence. Job 1. And I'm going to read verse 12.
Praise
Job
Abba
1
Yahweh.
and verse 12 reads,
And Yahweh said unto Satan, Behold, all that he hath is in thy power, only upon himself put not forth thy hand. So Satan went forth from the presence of Yahweh.
now this is Yahweh and Hasatan discussing Job.
Okay.
And Yahweh said, and Yahweh amar unto Satan, Behold, all that he hath is in thy my shell. He said, okay, I'm going to give you Job, but he said, you can't kill him.
Right, right.
Why? Because the devil has power to kill.
Okay.
He's got the power over death. But Yahweh is controlling it.
Yes,
you can't
right.
just go kill random people
No,
when
he
it feels
cannot.
like it. Right. Unless they're up under the curse.
That's
All
it.
right? It says, Behold, all that he hath is in thy
Praise
mouth
the
shall.
mighty
Talking about Job, only upon himself, put not forth your hand. Because he knew the devil would just kill him. He'd
That's
be
right.
outright with it.
You're right.
If he could kill us, he'd just kill us and we'd be
Hallelujah.
outright with it and done with it. So it says, Satan
Praise the
went
mighty
forth
God.
from the presence of Yahweh, and you can read in the rest of the chapter what he did to Job.
Okay.
Let's go to the New Testament, to Hebrews. So the devil invented these two deaths.
Okay.
And Yahweh sent Yahshua to take those
That's right.
deaths
Took it
back
back
from
by
him.
force. Praise Abba
In the
Yahweh.
New Testament, Hebrews or Ibryi, that's why Yahshua came.
Uh-huh.
To take back the stuff that Adam gave up.
Right,
To
right.
take back that the stuff Hasatan invented.
Yeah, yeah. Praise Abba
It's
Yahweh.
those two deaths.
For
Hebrews
the
the
Lamb
second
Yeshua.
chapter. And we want to start at verse 14. Now this is why it was necessary for Yahshua to come. And we're looking at this so we can understand the devil is all about death.
Yes, he is.
He's
That's
not about
all.
life
Death and
at all.
destruction.
Hebrews 2, let's read verse 14, please.
Praise Yahweh.
For as much then as the children are partakers of the flesh and blood, he also himself likewise took forth of the same, that through death he might destroy him that had the power of death, that is, the devil.
Who got the power of death? The devil. He got it from the first man.
Right.
For as much then as Haban or the children are partakers of flesh and dam, he also, talking about Yahshua, likewise took part of the same, that through Maveth he might destroy him that had Hamashel of Maveth. That is the devil. That's why he had to come and die and go to death.
Right.
He's taken back those two deaths.
Yes, he has.
All right, verse 15.
And deliver them who the fear of death were all their lifetime subject to bondage.
It says, and deliver them who through fear of Maveth were all their lifetime subject to bondage. Well, none of us want to die this physical death, but we're not afraid of it anymore because now we understand what happens after physical death. All right, go to Revelation. This is the New Testament, Revelation, the 1st chapter. But we see that the devil has the power of death.
Yes, he does.
And he used it to manipulate and control people.
Yes, he does.
It says because people were all their life in bondage, in prison, by the fact of knowing that they were going to die.
Right.
It doesn't have to be a prison. You live your life to the fullest.
Yes.
You do what Yahweh's called you to do.
With Yahweh.
And then when Yahweh says your work is finished, then you go
Praise
ahead
God, Yahweh.
relax.
Praise Yahweh.
You'll read the scripture where Yahweh says, those of us that have served Yahweh during our life, after we leave here, it's a rest.
Yes, it is. He said, enter into my rest.
Everything is over.
Yes, it is.
And it's all good.
Hallelujah.
So if you got somebody teaching, talking about the devil can resurrect you or raise you from the dead, like it.
I know, right?
Or anybody that's serving the devil, that is a big greasy lie.
I know, right?
Revelation the 1st chapter, and let's read one verse, verse 18.
Hallelujah.
Revelation 1, we're going to see that Yahshua succeeded in taking back those keys. Taking back those things from
Praise our Yahweh.
1 and verse 18 reads,
I am he that liveth and was dead, and behold, I am alive for evermore. Amen. And have the keys of the grave and of death.
All right, so he got the keys of the lake of fire and of death. As Yahweh said, once you come to Yahshua, the second death has no part on you.
No, it does not.
That's the key of the lake of fire. He says, I am he that kaya and was moved. Behold, I am kaya forevermore. Amen. And have the keys of the lake of fire and of Maveth or death. He said, I took them back from him.
Right.
So he's letting us know in Revelation, I got them. I came down here as a man and I got them.
Right.
Now we're going to see, he got the keys of the lake of fire and death. Death is one of the devil's demons. We're in Revelation. Go to the 6th chapter.
That's Ruach, is one of his spirits of death. Yep.
Revelation, the 6th chapter.
Praise the mighty Yah.
And we're going to start reading at verse 7. This is one of the devil's demons. And the devil got a demon named cancer.
Yes, he does.
He got a demon named laryngitis. He
Yes,
got
he
a
does.
demon named kidney failure.
He
got a demon named, cardiac arrest.
Yes, he does. Praise our Yahweh.
Revelation 6, let's read verse 7.
Hallelujah.
And when he had opened the fourth seal, I heard the voice of the fourth beast say, come and see.
Verse 8.
And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and the grave followed with him, and the power was given slain for the world of Elohim and for the testimony.
Okay, wait, now I think you might have skipped. Verse 8.
Verse 8? Oh, and I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and the grave followed with him, and the power was given. Slain for the word of...
Okay, I'll finish it. I think you might be putting 2 pages together. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his shem that sat on him was Mavet. And the lake of fire followed with him. And my shell was given unto them over the fourth part of high Earth, to kill with the sword, and with hunger, and with Mavet, and with the beasts of high Earth. So you see there's something sitting on a horse named Death, right? A pale horse.
Yep.
Why? Because these are all demons that you're dealing with. It's not a real horse, but it's a pale horse.
Uh-huh.
The pale horse, and the thing that sat on him was a demon named Death.
Okay.
It said, and hell, or the lake of fire, followed him, sitting on the horse. And it says, my shell of power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth. So these are people that refuse to obey Yahweh. And these demons are going to go out and kill them. And they're going to be in the lake of fire. All right, we're in Revelation. Go over to the 20th chapter.
Praise the mighty Yah.
So you see it's sitting on a horse.
Huh.
His name is Death. And then hell was following him. It doesn't say hell was sitting on a horse, but
right.
these are demons. Revelation 20, let's read one verse, verse 14.
Praise the mighty Yah. Hallelujah.
And it reads,
And Death and Hades were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death.
so he said, and Mavet and the lake of fire were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second Mavet or death. So you see the translator in her Bible changed it to Hades. Now all of a sudden he's trying to make it be the lake of fire. But either way, Yahweh said both of them,
Yeah, right.
these demons were cast into the lake of fire.
Okay.
And it says the lake of fire is also called the second death.
Yep.
All right, let's go to this New Testament, 1 Corinthians. So you just needed to see that death is a demon.
Yes, it is.
And the lake of fire is a demon.
Time.
And Hasatan has control over
Yes, he does.
death. But again, he's not just running loose and fancy free.
No, he cannot.
Yahweh still has control, and he can't touch anybody
That's right.
that Yahweh doesn't let him
Under
touch.
protection of Yahweh.
1 Corinthians in the New Testament,
Praise
the
the mighty
15th
Yah.
chapter. We just want to see what the enemy is affiliated with.
Okay.
And it all has to do with death and destruction.
That's all.
Badness. It has nothing to do with anything good.
No, never
1
have.
Corinthians 15, and let's read start at verse 24. 1
Hallelujah.
Corinthians 15 and verse 24 reads, First Corinthians 15 and verse 24.
Praise Yahweh.
Says, then cometh the end, when he shall have delivered up Hamalku, or the kingdom to Elohim, even Ha'ava, or the Father, when he shall have put down all rule and all to cows or authority and my shell or power. Verse 25. For he must reign till he hath put all enemies under his feet. Verse 26. The last enemy that shall be destroyed is Mavet or death. That's the last enemy. And we just saw death going to be thrown in the lake of fire.
Right.
Okay. In the New Testament, let's go to Romans.
Praise Maria.
So in the New Testament, the English word death is the Greek word found in Strong's number 2288, meaning the death of the body, that separation of the soul and the body by which the life on earth is ended, with the implied idea of future misery in the lake of fire. Metaphorically, it's the misery of the soul arising from sin, which begins on earth, but lasts and increases after the death of the body in the lake of fire. And it's the state of the wicked in the lake of fire.
Praise to Maria and Emmett.
So being able to raise people from the dead is having the power of life.
Right.
Not the power of death.
Right.
That's the opposite. The devil and no angel has the power of life to resurrect the dead.
No, they do not.
All right.
Never have.
The 8th chapter. All right.
Praise to Maria 8.
Okay.
Praise to Maria
Romans
8.
8th chapter. We'll read one verse, verse 11. Romans
Hallelujah.
8th chapter, and let's read verse 11, please.
But if the spirit of him that raised up Yahshua from the dead dwell in you, he that raised up Messiah from the dead shall also quicken your mortal bodies by his spirit that dwells in you.
Praise
Now we're talking about
Yahweh.
having the power of life for
Hallelujah.
raising people from the dead. It says, but if Haruach, that's talking about Ruach HaKodesh,
Right.
of him, talking about Yahweh's Ruach, that raised up Yahshua from Hamuth, so it raised Yahshua up from the dead.
Right. It.
Yahweh's Ruach.
Yes, it did.
He that raised up Mashiach from Hamuth shall also quicken your mortal Gibeah
Okay.
by his Ruach,
Hallelujah.
his spirit that dwelleth in you.
Yes.
Where is Ruach HaKodesh? It's
Yes,
within
in
us.
us.
Yahweh's power source.
Yes, it is.
That's what's going to cause us to hear that seventh shofar.
Hallelujah.
That's what's going to cause us to be resurrected. That was the same thing that caused Yahshua
Yeah, that right.
to be resurrected after 3 days and 3
Y'all
nights.
right, bro.
So raising people from the dead is the power of life, and that's strictly Yahweh's
That's
jurisdiction.
it. No house of time.
Let's go to the Old Testament, to Job again.
Hallelujah.
Ruach HaKodesh is the only thing that has the ability to
Yes,
resurrect and raise people from the dead. We're going to Job,
It the comforter.
the 14th chapter. So resurrecting the dead is not a power that Yahweh shared with his creation.
Oh
It's
no.
not. But now Yahweh's people, understanding resurrection, we do look forward to it
Yes, we do. Yes, we
while
do.
we are alive. Job
Hallelujah.
14. And
Praise
I'm going
Yahweh.
to read, let's start at verse 14. Job 14
Hallelujah.
and verse 14 reads,
If a man die, shall he live again all the days of my appointed time? Will I wait till my change?
Hallelujah.
now here is a
Hallelujah.
man of Yahweh, and he's understanding. It
Right,
says,
right.
if a Adam Booth, shall he kaya again?
Yes.
Yes. As a matter of fact, all men are going to live again.
Yes.
But really, the lake of fire is a death.
Okay.
So if you go to the lake of fire, that's not living.
Uh-uh.
You'll be alive, but you'll wish that you were dead.
Huh.
He asked the question, if a man dies, shall he live again? And then he says, all hayam of my appointed time will I wait
Yes.
till my change come, till
Yes.
I be resurrected. That's what
Hallelujah.
he's talking about, till Yahweh raise me from the dead.
Yes.
Verse 15.
Thou shalt call, and I will answer.
Yes.
Thou will have a desire to the work of thy hand.
Now who
Hallelujah.
gonna call? It ain't
I
Hasatan
know
calling
Yahweh.
to raise people from the dead.
Hallelujah.
Says, Yahweh shall kara,
Desire.
and I will amar answer thee. Why? The Ruach is in us. It's going to
Yes.
answer for us and raise us up out of that grave.
Yes.
It says, thou will have a desire to the work of thine hand.
That's right. Us.
Let's go back to the New Testament, to Luke. So
Praise
while on
Yahweh.
earth, see, Yowm knew it, and we know it.
Uh-huh.
While on earth, Yahweh's people look forward to being
Yes, we do.
resurrected or raised from
Oh,
the dead. And it won't be by Hasatan or
No,
anybody
of course not.
that knows him.
Right?
Luke, New Testament, chapter 14.
Praise
While
Yahweh.
on earth, we look forward to being
Yes.
raised from the dead.
We want our crown.
It says, death cannot hold us.
No, it cannot. Not
Yahshua
anymore.
freed us, right? We
Yes.
got freed before we went into that state.
Hallelujah.
Luke 14, and let's read verse 14, please. And it
Praise the
reads,
mighty Yah.
And thou shalt be blessed, for they cannot recompense thee, for thou shalt be recompensed at the resurrection of the just.
Yes.
Very good.
Yes.
It says, and thou shalt be Barak.
Uh-huh.
For talking about people, they can't bless you, they can't recompense you
Oh,
for
no,
what you
oh,
do
no, no,
for
they
Yahweh.
cannot.
No.
For thou shalt be recompensed, you shall be rewarded
Yes.
at the resurrection of Hasadik,
Yes.
the resurrection of the just.
Yes.
Why? Because Yahweh's going to call, And it says Yahshua will come and he'll bring his reward with him.
Yes.
We're going to be responding to Yahweh and Yahshua.
Hallelujah.
Now, if Hasatan can just push a button and resurrect you, he's going to beat you over the head. He's not rewarding you with anything.
No.
It says he's here to steal, kill, and destroy.
That's it.
To make you of all men most miserable.
That's it.
Let's go, we're in the New Testament. Let's go to John.
Hallelujah.
So Yahshua, like Ruach HaKodesh, has the power of life.
Oh, yeah.
Or the power to resurrect and raise the dead.
Yes, he
The
does.
devil does not.
No, he
Ruach
does. Never
HaKodesh
has.
does.
No power.
Yahweh the Father does. It, Ruach HaKodesh,
Right, right.
the devil does not.
No, he does.
None
Never
of
has.
Yahweh's creation has that power.
Right?
John 11
Praise
chapter.
the mighty Yah. Hallelujah, Yahweh.
So Yahshua, like Ruach HaKodesh, has the power of life.
Yes, he does.
John 11, we want to start at verse 24, please.
Hallelujah.
John 11 and verse 24. And it reads,
Yahshua said unto her,
24.
oh, I'm sorry. Martha said it unto him, I know that he shall rise again in the resurrection at the last day.
So here's another servant of Yahweh, another woman of Yahweh. We saw a man of Yahweh said, if a man dies, shall he live again?
Right,
He said,
right.
yeah, all the days of my appointed time, and I'm going to wait till
Yes,
my
we
change
are.
come. So here is Martha.
Yep.
She's talking to Yahshua. And Yahshua said, okay, you know what, he's going to rise.
Right, right.
She thought he was talking about in the first resurrection.
Right, right.
But Martha amarred him, I yada that he shall rise again in the resurrection at the last Yowm. That means that Yahshua's second coming.
Right, right.
But now what did Yahshua tell her? Verse
Okay.
25.
Yahshua said unto her, I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live.
Praise
So
Yahweh.
Yahshua amarred her, I am.
Yes, he
He
is.
said, I am the resurrection.
Yes,
I
he is.
am the one who causes the dead to stand up again, literally.
Hallelujah.
That's what that means. I am the one who causes the dead to be resurrected from death
Right, right.
individually. I'm the author, the one who raises to life again.
Yes.
Again, Hasatan is all about death,
The death.
the opposite.
Right.
So Yahshua having the power of life and being the resurrection is a core value of Yahweh's people.
That's it.
Spiritual Israel.
Hallelujah.
In the New Testament, let's go to 1 Peter.
Praise
So
the
Yahshua
mighty Yah.
said, hey, I am the resurrection.
Yes, he is.
And then he went and showed her. You can read the account later when you go home, where he did raise Lazarus back
Yes, he did.
from the dead. 1 Peter,
Praise the mighty
first
Yah.
chapter. Yahshua said, I'm the author
Yes, he is.
of raising people from the dead. I'm the one that makes them stand up
Yes.
and be resurrected.
Hallelujah.
1 Peter 1, going to read verse 3. 1
Praise
Peter 1
Yahweh.
and verse 3 reads,
Blessed be the Elohim and the Father of our Master Yahshua, Messiah, which according to his abundant mercy have begotten us again unto a lively hope by the resurrection of Yahshua, Messiah, from the dead.
all right, so
Yes.
here is Kepha saying, Barak be Ha Elohim and Abba of our Adon, Yahshua Mashiach, which according to his abundant high seed hath begotten us again into a lively
Yes.
hope. Why we got a lively hope? Because we know Yahshua was resurrected from the dead, and he's the trailblazer, he's the first one. We're just following in
That's
his
right.
footsteps.
Praise
It's guaranteed
the mighty
we'll
Yah.
be raised from
Yes,
the
it
dead.
is.
It said, by a lively hope, by the resurrection of Yahshua Mashiach from Hamu.
Hallelujah.
You
Praise the
understand that's
mighty
the
Yah.
process. In the New Testament, let's go to Philippians.
Hallelujah.
Again, this is the core value of Yahweh's people.
Yup.
Unlike the one of them, the Sadducees and Pharisees, trying to debate the New Testament Philippians whether or not there's a resurrection from
Right,
the
right,
dead.
right. We
We
know.
know there is.
We know. It is written.
As we know, Yahshua, we read the scripture today that said he's alive forevermore.
Yes, he is.
Hey, I'm the one, Revelation 1st chapter, that was dead, but I'm alive
Right, right.
forevermore. Philippians, the 3rd chapter. And we want to start at verse 10.
Hallelujah.
We got a lively hope.
Yes,
A
we
hope that
do.
will never die. Philippians
Never.
3 and verse 10 reads,
That I may know him and the power of his resurrection and the fellowship of his suffering, being made comfortably unto his death.
Yes.
that I may yada him and Hamashel of his resurrection.
Uh-huh.
It's powerful understanding. He is the resurrection.
Yeah,
He's
he
got
is.
the power of life.
Hallelujah.
And the fellowship of his sufferings being made conformable unto his Mavet. How did we do that? We repented, we got baptized.
That's right.
We went through the process. We got
We
sealed
believe.
with Ruach HaKodesh.
Yes.
We're conformed exactly unto his death.
Hallelujah.
That's what it symbolized.
Yes, it does. Yahweh Salam's note.
Yes, verse 11.
If by any means I might obtain unto the resurrection of the dead.
That's what we're working for,
Yep,
to
yep.
attain unto the
That's what
resurrection.
we're
of the
striving
dead.
at.
That's why we're sticking close to Yahweh.
Hallelujah.
And keep away from Satan, because he's got no ability to raise the dead. It says, if by any means I might attain unto the resurrection of Hamuth.
Yes.
All right, we're in the New Testament. Go to 2 Corinthians, the 5th chapter. So Yahweh's people know they will receive resurrection through the power of Ruach HaKodesh.
Right.
2 Corinthians.
Praise the mighty God.
The 5th chapter.
Hallelujah. Glory to you, Abba Yahweh, for the Lamb.
2
Yeshua.
Corinthians 5, and we want to start at verse 1.
Praise
2
Yahweh.
Corinthians 5. And let's read verse 1, please.
Thus all the work
Okay, 2 Corinthians 5. For we yada, or know, that if our errant by it or earthly house of this tabernacle were dissolved, we have a building of Elohim, a bayit or house not made with hands, eternal in Hashemayim.
That's
This
right.
is Yahweh letting us know He's prepared a glorified
Yes,
body
he
for us.
has.
It's going to look just like this body,
Okay.
only better.
Yes.
And then in my theory, this is Sister Shelomah's theory,
Okay.
I believe we'll all be 33 and a half years old, just like Yahshua was.
When he left.
It says, but we know that we have an earthly house of this, if this earthly house is the earthly house made from the dirt,
Yep. This is it.
if it was dissolved, we have a building of Yahweh, a house not made with hands, eternal in Shemayim,
Right.
or the heavens. And this is a body that will live forever. It's
Right.
prepared. This is not the body that was made to live forever. This was only made for this particular climate on this planet. All right? Verse 2. Are you there? 2 Corinthians 5 and verse 2. Okay, I'll get it. For in this we groan, earnestly desiring to be clothed upon with our body or house,
Yes.
which is from Shemayim or heaven.
Hallelujah.
There are times when we rather be there,
Oh,
here.
yeah,
We'd
yeah.
rather be waiting on the
Yeah,
resurrection,
yeah.
but Yahweh's people need us. So it would be
Right.
selfish for us to. I remember years ago
Right.
there was a young lady that asked
Do.
me if she committed suicide, would that,
Oh, no.
make her, be closer,
They
you know,
did that.
and be in the kingdom. And I told her no.
Right.
See, because you're taking something into your own hands.
Right.
Yahweh has
He
put in
said,
his
thou
own
shalt not
hands.
kill.
And just because you commit suicide, that don't mean you're going to see Yahweh earlier. You may go the other way.
Yeah.
All right. We're in 2 Corinthians. All right. We want to go to the 1st chapter.
Praise the mighty God.
All right. So Ruach HaKodesh within us as spiritual Israel will enable us to hear the 7th shofar blow at the first resurrection.
Yes, we will.
And be raised from the dead.
Yes, we will.
All right. 2 Corinthians 1. Let's read verse 22, please.
Hallelujah.
who hath also sealed us.
2
Yes.
Corinthians 1 and 21. I'm sorry, I'm on 21, please. I'm sorry.
That was good too.
Yeah.
Now he which established us with you in the Messiah and have anointed us is Elohim.
That's how
Yes.
you know you got the Ruach HaKodesh. That's called your anointing. You've been anointed.
Yes, we have.
says, now he which establishes us with you is Mashiach. So instead of talking about Yahshua got the power of life.
Right.
And hath anointed us is the mighty one, is Elohim. It's Yahweh and Yahshua working together.
That's right.
All right? You've been anointed. Verse 22.
Who hath also sealed us, and given the earnest of us, and given the earnest of the Spirit in our hearts.
That's right. He's also sealed us. What did he seal us with?
Ruach HaKodesh.
That's the anointing.
Yeah.
That's why you're anointed.
Hallelujah.
And that given us the earnest, the deposit of his Ruach in our Ruach. Within us. Our human spirit is joined with Yahweh's Ruach HaKodesh.
Yes, it is.
And Yahweh is leading us and guiding us all the way.
Yes, it is.
He sealed us and given us this down payment.
Right.
And he's going to redeem it when he calls us, when we hear that seventh shofar blow and be raised from the dead.
Praise.
Again, only Yahweh
God
is able to do this.
Okay.
We're in the New Testament. Let's go to John, the 5th chapter. So
Praise
at the
Yahweh.
seventh shofar, blowing of the shofar will bring again our born again Ruachs and all of Yahweh's people born again Ruachs together with those glorified bodies, with that building not made with hands
Right.
in Shemaiah. That's what's going to bring it together. John, the 5th chapter. And we want to start at verse 28.
Hallelujah.
John 5, and let's read verse 28, please. John 5 and verse 28 reads,
Marvel not at this, for the hour is coming, in the which all that are in the graves shall hear his voice.
Yes.
All right, so it says,
Yes.
everybody in the grave is going to hear
Okay.
that voice. Now, we will hear the seventh trumpet, and it says, Yahshua's voice sounds like a trumpet,
Okay.
but it says everybody in the grave is going to hear. So Yahshua is going to call the righteous at one time.
Right. Praise you.